and today we will be discussing the lack of interest in agriculture, specifically in the United States. Now, to start us off, the general public may feel like they are losing this connection with agriculture, and I believe that many people act in their self-interest, even if it doesn't align with other people's. And this is known as egoism. So the ethical type that applies to this topic would be egoism. People no longer see agriculture as a cool or profitable industry and just pretty much just push it away. But little do they know about how much potential it really and truly does hold, and especially here in the United States. Why is there a lack of interest in agriculture? To be honest, people aren't interested in agriculture anymore because it's become a social norm for it to be boring and already figured out. For one to say, I want to be a farmer when they're at a young age, let's say 13 or 14, let's just say they're having this talk with their friends or whatever they may be, they would say something else like, oh, I want to be a programmer or a coder, I want to be a graphic designer, just anything else besides a farmer because it's not cool. I have many friends that know that their family's agriculture business is doing well, so they pursue their dreams, which isn't in the agriculture business. They think, well, this is already figured out, why do it? There is definitely a lack of interest in agriculture by the general public. Being in Idaho, an agriculture state, I still noticed little to no interest in agriculture from friends, family, and even people that I have met along the way. I grew up around farmers, now old age farmers. I'm very close to many of these farmers. Technology is one of the branches that has definitely been a focus point for the younger generations coming up and moving into college. Now let's start with agriculture in general, the job, what it takes to be a farmer. It's difficult, messy, and it doesn't pay well. You wake up early and work hard all day. Get all kinds of dirt and muck on you, and there are no benefits and very few vacation days. It takes a lot of dedication. It also gives you a gritty, up-close, and personal view of where your food comes from, which some people would rather not know. And for people who are prepared for the aspect, I wouldn't be surprised if some of them quit once they realize how complicated it all really is. What are some things that people say against this? Many people would argue that whether or not there's interest in the United States, there are many other countries that plant and grow foods. So they just because they think, oh, there's other countries that plant and grow all these other crops and foods that aren't in the United States. So why should we be focused on agriculture? Why should I be a farmer? Or why this and why that? The United States is highly known for being one of the top countries that imports and exports foods. So they say, why worry? Well, let's take a look at these two graphs here, just to kind of put things into perspective. Now we're looking at the U.S. agriculture exports from. This is a graph from 2000 to all the way up 2015. And our exports that we were looking at, sugar and tropical products holds one of the least exports, horticulture products. And out of all this, what I see as being the biggest exporter would be grains and feeds, oilseeds and oilseed products, and livestock products, as well as horticulture products. I'm not able to narrow down which one out of all those, but those are the top U.S. agriculture exports, which is good, definitely really good. And as the saying goes, we really need to maintain this and build on it. It's really good for the United States or a country to have a lot of exports. That means a lot of imports, trades, and yada yada, so on. And just another idea about our top major agricultural exports to China in 2013, we got soybeans topping out at 13.33 billion. We got other things such as like hides and skins. We got cotton. We got wheat, corn, edible chicken, and pig parts. Yeah, very interesting. Now we can also look at this. The U.S. is the second largest foreign market for China's agriculture commodities. Now we look at the U.S. food imports coming from China. This is from 1990 going all the way up to 2010. We see this steady rise. There's a fun little statement. Your cell phone is made in China. What about your baked tilapia dinner? All right, that's interesting. How much of America's food comes from China? For vitamin C, 90% of vitamin C comes from China. Wow. 78% of tilapia comes from China. 70% of apple juice comes from China. 50% for cod. 43% for processed mushrooms, and 23% for garlic. What does this all have to do with the lack of interest in agriculture? It does a lot. It really puts things into perspective about the imports and exports and why we should keep a interest in agriculture, because keeping an interest in agriculture only increases the opportunities given for us here in the United States to be able to export what we have, and in order to get what we want that we may not be able to get in our country, or say grow, or for things that we cannot grow that are made in factories. Now moving down to my overall opinion, I firmly believe that more people need to engage in agriculture, whether it be informing themselves or taking action into the agriculture business themselves. As time goes by, we are noticing a decline in interest, especially from the younger generations. This could mean less agriculture opportunities in the near future. We need to maintain a strong agriculture production for our country and for other countries as well. This goes back to imports and exports, trades, really, really good for us. Idaho especially is a perfect spot for future farmers. Think about it. There are many people out there in the world that don't have the same resources, such as farmland and people who have learned the ropes. If one wants to get invested in agriculture and farming, it's really easy to reach out to people who have gone through these experiences. One thing that I really like going on in Idaho high schools has been 4-H programs and FFA, Future Farmers of America. Now these programs are something that I really, really do like, because it opens up the possibilities for children, and they really kind of give these kids the experience that they'll be, if they pursue agriculture, this is what it is. This is what 4-H is all about, and this is what Future Farmers of America is all about. It puts them into the nitty-gritty aspect of what it really is, and that's something that I really do value, and I'm proud for Idaho schools for doing that as well. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much my presentation. With that, I would say informing these young farmers with more perspectives and point of views is definitely something that can be done to encourage them to stay in the agriculture field, making them realize that they are in the perfect spot. They are set up to take over and innovate. I would say getting them excited about what lies in the future for the agriculture business. I have a friend who is currently attending the University of Idaho in Moscow. After this year, he will be returning back home to run the farm with his dad and his grandfather. Much respect. He once told me that he wasn't sure agriculture was something he wanted to pursue, that he was flat out bored and completely not interested on going back to the farm. I told him that many people, including myself, would really put more values being in this position. I don't know exactly what I told him, specifically, but I made him realize that there's a lot of other people who know absolutely nothing about agriculture, but yet are trying to get into the business. I mentioned to him that other students don't have the same resources as him, such as farmland, family, financial ties, and people who know it. All right, guys, take care. Thank you. It's been a great semester, and I hope the best for you all in the near future.